here with Coach Jessica Weiner, Pan Am champion. Yeah, it's so great to have you on the show, and thanks for coming up and making the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Shout out to Legacy Glendale, helping build Legacy Glendale every day. First met you at the cafe, at the Açai Jungle Cafe. You were there for some years, and it's been great to see you around, and then starting jiu-jitsu and competing and just living the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people don't know, well, for me, like you were a Serenade and Sona's gymnastic coach when they were little.
Yep.
So you were they always talked about you. You were their favorite, like one of their favorite coaches growing up, you know.
Oh, that's
at
so
the YMCA.
sweet. Yep.
Yeah.
We had fun. Serenade and I were just talking about that, about the class, and she's like, we always had so much fun in your class. That's great.
Yeah. What did the started doing hand like cartwheels and stuff. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
And she gets focused, and she started doing cartwheels like all day, every day, at home, on the grass, in the hallway, you know. And sometimes she would just kick people in the head, not on purpose, just because she's excited to do it, you know, just to practice it, you know, and perfect it, you know.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
And
yeah, they were so fun to have in class.
She'd fight with her brother. And you kicked me in the head, and then scrapping in the hallway.
Accidentally, of course.
Yeah, but it's awesome, man.
That's
Appreciate you being on the staff and just knowing you all these years now.
Yeah, it's been quite a few years. I mean, I started at the cafe in 2018, but they were probably in my class. I don't know, were they like 7 maybe? So yeah, probably like 2015. I would say they were probably in my class. So it's been a decade of knowing you guys.
Wow.
I think. Yeah. And then just being around here, you know, the cafe, now Glendale. It's been a pretty cool journey.
Yeah.
With you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always a big smile and happy, and you know, just like it's really cool. I remember that little window in the YMCA.
Yeah.
The window.
Yes.
Gymnastic room.
Yes.
Separate all those parents right, from the room.
Oh yeah. That's I love that when there's the separation, you know, when you're coaching kids, because they really can focus better.
Yeah.
When the parents are on the other side. You know, they can still be a part of it and watch and be there, but yeah.
I remember being in the on the other side of the wall of the window inside with the parents. Oh my God, they would say stuff about, you know, if you trained her, she could go to do this, do that. You know? I'm like, man, relax. You know, she's just having fun. You know?
Yeah, she's taking a class.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, it's okay to just have fun.
So you know, now you being in the jiu-jitsu, how does it compare to like a jiu-jitsu parents, gymnastic parents?
I would say jiu-jitsu parents are a little more intense. You know, gymnastics parents can be. If you're on the competition side of it, they can be. But I've mostly coached recreational gymnastics. So for the most part, you know, they are just there to have fun. Every once in a while, you'll get a parent, you know, that's more pushy. And, you know, sometimes when they're little, the parents are a little overbearing and will, you know, be saying things to the kids during class if there's not that divider where they can't. But yeah, jiu-jitsu parents, I think, are a little more intense, especially when, you know, they're watching the kids roll and do super fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's hard not to, right?
Yeah, it is.
They're little babies.
Exactly,
and they're scrapping like they're, you know, they're like adults, right?
Right,
and they're
exactly.
like little babies still.
Yes.
And geese.
Yep. Yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like to be a parent watching your kid out there rolling.
Yeah. The gymnastic, I guess, at the YMCA is like the vibe is different than overall like a competitive gymnastics school, right?
Yeah, very different at the Y. Yeah, it was very chill, you know. And yeah, we didn't have any sort of competition. When I first started at the Y, we actually did our gymnastics setup in the basketball gym. We would pull out, you know, bars and beams and mats, and we would do a whole setup and then break it down at the end of the night. So which wasn't the room that the girls were in, but yeah, so it was very chill, you know, very much just like fun after school activity.
Yeah, what a great activity.
Yeah, it really is. I think gymnastics and jiu-jitsu, not to shout out the two things I coach, but I do think those are, you know, two great sports for kids to be put in. When
body awareness, there's nothing better than martial arts and
exactly.
And we favor jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And gymnastics for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's these two brothers, the Schultz brothers. They were like legendary, like Olympic gold medalists in wrestling, and they were gymnasts before they did wrestling.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And once they started doing wrestling, they were like superstars, right? Right off the bat, just because they could put their body wherever they needed to. At the,
they already understood it. Yeah, yeah. It can help in a lot of different areas, definitely.
How did you get involved with gymnastics?
When I was 15, I coached my first gymnastics class. It was back home in Chicago. It was a little park district class. My best friend and I coached these little 4-year-olds. It was, I think she had like a family friend who worked there and they needed some coaches and they just randomly decided to hire a 14 and 15-year-old who had never coached gymnastics.
You didn't have did you grow up doing gymnastics?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up doing it recreationally.
Right.
I always did it. I think it could have been more because I remember as like a 6-year-old, I was landing cartwheels on the high beam. But then I saw this happened in many sports that I did where I saw somebody get hurt and then it would freak me out and then I wasn't able to progress anymore. And in gymnastics, some girl in one of my classes did a back walkover or something and fell and thought she hurt her neck, but they had to bring a stretcher in and take her out. And after that, I was just scared to do things. So it never progressed that way, but I always did it recreationally and I did competitive cheerleading for a couple of years. So I did tumbling then a little bit in high school.
Okay.
But yeah, I just, we got thrown into teaching this class when I was 15 and I remember we made $7 an hour and it was 45 minutes once a week for a summer. And then a couple more years passed and then, I think it was my first summer after my first year of college. I got a job at a club gym also back home in Chicago.
Okay.
And that's where I really got all my training, gymnastics coaching. I was a gymnastics coach, a dance teacher there, and because it was a club gym and they had a competitive program, I got really, really great training. So I was there for like 7 years before I moved to LA. So I just accidentally made a career out of being a gymnastics coach.
It's a valuable thing to know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, what brought you to LA?
The entertainment industry, acting and performing. I went to college for theater and dance.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I stayed in Chicago for a few years, did theater, and then got the film bug and decided to come out here and try it here. So that was 13 years ago. I've been here for 13 years. Yeah.
13
this year.
Years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's kept you here? With all the craziness.
That's a good question.
Jiu-Jitsu is one of them,
yeah,
right?
Definitely now Jiu-Jitsu is one of them. I mean, it's so funny because I tell people, I'm like, it took like a decade for me to love LA. I loved parts of it, but it really took quite a while for me to really love it and feel like it was home fully. But I do feel that way now, and it would be hard to leave. And definitely now, legacy in jiu-jitsu, I couldn't imagine doing jiu-jitsu anywhere else. I know if I left, I could find, somewhere to go, but I just know I would not be having the same experience that I'm having here. And it's a very special experience. So it would be hard to ever leave based on that. But yeah, I mean, I went in and out of doing acting stuff over the years, but I guess I was always passionate about it and always have come back to it. I've recently got headshots taken and I've come back to it. And so it's like, that's always been there for me. And I feel like I was never done with that. So that kind of kept me here. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with all these last few years, right? With all the work and, the lack of work, right? Of things, jiu-jitsu and having other things, right? On your things you're passionate about.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, there's, so much that I would have never discovered had I not lived here, just, jiu-jitsu and things like that, and things about myself I would have never discovered. And so it's been a pretty cool journey, a rocky one at times, but also a really, really cool one being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you start competing? What made you want to compete?
I didn't really want to compete.
You did that first in-house tournament.
Yes,
I remember.
That was my first tournament, and it was a horrible experience.
Yeah, I remember that because you were so nervous. You're so out of your comfort zone. You're like, I do not want to be here, but you did it anyway.
Yes, exactly.
That was the best part.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I never thought I would compete. I mean, I never thought I'd do jiu-jitsu or keep doing it, any of these things, but I never, ever thought that I would compete. And we were going to wait until we were 3-stripe white belts and then find a competition. And that was based on Anthony, him saying, okay, let's wait till, you're 3-stripe white belt. And then the in-house popped up and we were 2-stripe white belts. And he was like, this is the perfect first tournament to do, But yeah, it was pretty awful. I had a terrible time. I felt all the things you feel at your first tournament. It's just never the same as it is in class. Doing a 5-minute match in a tournament, is just completely
People
different.
Yelling, nervous, so you don't want to be embarrassed.
Exactly. Right? And while it is nice to do it, on your home turf, it is like, oh, but everybody I know is here. But that being said, it was a crazy experience, but it also made me want to do it again. And because I had, I was surrounded by such a great team and support, that made me want to also keep going and try again. So then I just kept going, I guess. I think we did tap cancer out next, and I got a submission, and it boosted my confidence, and I medaled, and so then that, pushed me. It's like the wins and the losses push you to want to keep going. And I'm glad I've learned that through jiu-jitsu and through competing, because it could also be very easy to just give up after a loss and a bad experience. But I'm definitely glad that, it pushed me to keep going. Cause
why wouldn't you quit when you would lose after losing that for the first in-house tournament?
Why wouldn't I quit?
Yeah.
I mean, I think just because of the team I've been surrounded by, the group of people, exactly, that it's like I want to keep going with them and getting better and staying a part of the group, and I've just had really, really great support here in this community, and so it's really kept me going. And when the lows are very low, it's the group of friends, now very close friends, that I train with.
Why are they low? Why are they low when you lose?
I guess it just feels so disappointing and embarrassing. And you feel like, oh, I've just worked so hard and 5 minutes and it's gone, and I didn't get it. I remember you helped coach me at my first Jiu-Jitsu World League that I didn't medal at. And I remember that felt extra bad because I was like, oh, Professor Alberto was helping coach me, and and it just feels like it feels like the worst thing in the world. I don't know why. I mean, I felt some pretty bad feelings in life, but losing a tournament feels pretty awful and pretty low, and it feels like the end of the world in the moment, and it's like you don't even want to look anyone in the eyes. And but I also know from watching people lose that you don't feel that way toward people. You don't feel disappointed, and you don't, and you're still proud of them and all those things. So, yeah, but.
Why do you think it feels, the when you lose, like it's the end of the world? Why is it the end of the world?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just feels that way because it probably is because a lot of the adrenaline going, you're on such a high going into it. And then it's just like brings you, all the way down, basically. It has gotten better for me. I'll say that it doesn't always feel like the end of the world anymore. I've learned, obviously, that you're going to lose. Somebody has to lose. There's 2 people out there and one person is going to have to lose. And
part of the game.
It's part of the game. Exactly. And, I've learned the most from my losses, and
helped you become better.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There are things, that have happened in one tournament, and then I've learned from it. And then the next one I'm, able to apply it. But yeah, definitely it doesn't always feel like the end of the world anymore. It felt like that for a long time, and for a long time I couldn't win my first match in a tournament. I would go out there and just be so nervous and and wouldn't do well. And then my second match, I'd go out and it would be like a totally different person doing jiu-jitsu. So that's something I've also gotten past, you know. So it's been really cool to be able to, you know, see that journey and feel that and know that I've gotten through these moments, and that it doesn't always feel like the end of the world anymore.
And then coming out on the other side of winning tournaments, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's a pretty great feeling. It's pretty high, exciting feeling and just proud. I mean, I was never, you know, a competitive person. I did competitive cheerleading and dance a little bit was the most I ever did, but
I was just thinking about that. I think you have to be competitive to, you know, want that perfection, want to show excellence and be great, right?
Definitely, yeah, you
have
definitely
to be competitive.
do.
Like internally, you have to have that, and that's probably your drive.
Yeah.
I would think like you're not going to accept that's why I asked you that question. You're not going to accept losing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're not okay with that.
Yeah, exactly.
You say I'm not competitive, but then inside of you, there's like this, you know?
Yeah, that's very true. That definitely exists inside of me.
Big smile and happy and nice and having fun, but you're like, you know what? Like I want to win.
Well, yes, that is very true. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I want my hard work to show off and to pay off, and you know, so I guess I am maybe a little competitive, unassumingly competitive, yeah. And I've gotten more competitive now through jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Why should people do jiu-jitsu, and why especially should females do jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I think it's something that kids should do. You know, I think it teaches quite a bit of discipline and gives them determination, and you know, it also creates a social environment for them where they meet kids that they never would have met. You know, they're obviously being healthy with it, and you know. Moving their bodies, learning to move their bodies in ways they never would. And that goes for adults too. You know, I think that's the same reason adults should do it. As far as women go, I do think it's the best form of self-defense. You know, I did Muay Thai for a few years as well, which I love, of course.
Yeah, I was looking for you, and I saw Coach Andy, and I was looking at he wouldn't have been out there if you were here. So I was like, oh, she's not here yet.
Yeah, but that's so true. He's my favorite. Shout out Coach Andy.
We can kind of hear him downstairs.
Yeah,
right?
we can. Yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, jiu-jitsu is just, you know, obviously it teaches you how to get out of situations and how to, you know, that you don't have to be the strongest person, that if you know, how to be technical about it, that you can get out of situations. Obviously there's a lot more to that, but I hope I never have to use it, but I do feel confident in my jiu-jitsu that, you know, if I had to use it in real life, that I would be able to and would probably be successful. So I definitely think, you know, and it's very empowering. It's very empowering for anyone, but especially for women, I think, to do. I mean, I love being so unassuming. Like I'm walking around the street with, you know, my pink on, and, you know, I'm very girly, and I'm like, oh, people don't know that I could choke them out right now, you know? And so it does feel very empowering, and yeah, and not to mention the best workout ever, you know. Yeah. I've always been somebody who's moved and worked out and stuff, but this has gotten me in the best shape of my life. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Like walking down the street, like you're going to go on automatic and some kind of situation. And that's so empowering. Right?
Yeah.
Like one of the things I've heard from females is just, you know, not just females, but, you know, especially females, they were saying like, you know, maybe I don't have to even, like, I don't get in a situation, but because of, I'm able to stay calm under stress.
Yes.
Like there's situations where it's like very scary, and instead of freezing or doing some other thing, they hold their ground, or they're able to make the right decisions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you found yourself in anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is, you know, it's a mental thing too, you know. It definitely teaches you to be in a moment and, you know, really have to assess it and stay calm. You know, I mean, you have to do that while you're rolling. And so that is definitely another aspect of it, you know, that it teaches you to do that and to know, like, you know, let me just take this a step at a time. Yeah.
I just had a flash of you, and I think I was in Glendale and I brought Serenade with me. You know?
Yeah,
and you guys were like training or doing drilling together
Yes,
or something, and
that
you
was
guys were
so fun.
laughing, you know.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that was great. She was teaching me that day, so it was funny. You know, we had role reversal. She was the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Man, she's gonna be homeschooled next year, so she can train more.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, she's incredible.
She really wants it.
You know? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So go with the flow. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you were on Kevin's first. He's doing those interviews. He's getting the Gracie family members. He's getting the Andre Galvans.
Yep.
And then you got Jessica, episode 1.
That's right.
Coach Jessica Weiner.
Yep.
Weiner.
Yep. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I forgot about that.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. I kicked it off. Yep. Never forget, Kev. Oh, that's so funny. The pink geese part was what everyone was cracking up about, because I said something about my pink geese and everybody thought I said pinkies.
Pinkies.
And we went back and forth for a second.
That's right. You always wear pinkies, right?
Yep. I've kind of transitioned now to black. Black is my favorite, but it always has to have, you know, a hint of pink or purple or something sparkly on it. So
That's funny.
yeah, that's something I love
funny.
about jiu-jitsu too, is, you know, your expression through your gis. I'm like, that's a part of the experience for me.
It is. It's so cool. Like Shoei Roll, and me and being Bear, the Shoei Roll, you know, founder, we were talking about that. You know, back in the day, there was like one gi, it was like white, you know, and it was all baggy and like, you know, it didn't fit right. And then some jiu-jitsu some companies, they started making jiu-jitsu cuts, you know, so like it was more fitted, and more for jiu-jitsu. And then I feel like Bear was the guy who came out and kind of got it, especially like tailored fit, you know, and then also like, you know, like a unique, like a style, right? Like different styles and stuff, you know, and collaborating with cool companies and people.
They're so cool.
Yeah, and just having, you know, like all ages, right? But just feeling good, feeling like stylish or whatever, and the gis, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a fun part of it.
Yeah, I remember.
For me.
Yeah, I remember like back in the day too. There was everybody just wore like not even white ones. I think they were like off white, you know. And then I think judo started having blue gis to kind of differentiate the two whatever the people, the white and blue gis. And so then jiu-jitsu started adding blue gis to the jiu-jitsu, you know, which is cool.
Great. Yeah.
And then eventually some other colors, black and everything else.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's probably been really cool for you to see that, you know, see how it's progressed and changed.
It's cool, and I kind of have to laugh at it too, you know, because people take it very serious, you know, and get all like you know, kind of stuck up on it, you know? Right. They're like, man, it's just
you came from the days where it was just all
the way people tie their belts, just the way the samurai would tie it, you know, and then you see like Kenzie Gracie making like videos like, man, like look at those samurai, like people just make up stuff, right?
Yeah,
and this is the way it's always been. Like, oh, it's like it was just you just focus on getting good at jiu-jitsu and being able to fight well and being good, you know?
Yeah.
And that's all that matters, you know?
Yeah.
And being a good person, I think, too. Like, one of the good things about the old school things was, you know, you had your character, right? Because, you know, like, it was like fight club culture a little bit, too. There weren't a lot of females. There was, like, almost zero females. Yeah. And your character had to be, you know, you had to be a good guy, you know, or else you get checked, you know. Yeah,
definitely.
In a real world way, you know.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. I've trained when I've been traveling. I've trained in different states, and there's not a lot of women still in a lot of gyms that I've trained at. We have so many women here at Legacy. But yeah, you mentioned females, and I was just thinking that I've been one of few women in the classes in the other states I've trained in. So we have a great community of women here, and so many, and it is such a welcoming place, you know. Yeah. I'm proud. I'm very proud of that. You know? I'm very proud of that. Even the old school days in my gym, I had like 2 female black belts. You know, wow. Yeah.
Which is like very rare. There would have been one of the first 12, you know, female black belts.
That's
but
amazing.
I moved away, you know, in 2007 from New Mexico.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I was with all the Armenians over here, you know, with my kids.
Yep.
But they were like, there weren't a lot of females back in those days.
Yeah.
So I think it's, you know, to think the culture that we do, you know.
Definitely. Yeah.
Promotes that.
Yeah.
Makes people feel good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a younger sister too, so she trained. Everybody trained, right?
Yeah.
My mom even.
Oh, that's awesome.
Back in the day when we were younger,
That's so
us,
cool. That's great.
Yeah. We have all ages, right? All
Yeah.
kinds of
Yep.
and I think it's important, right, for the girls, the little girls, to see females on the mat.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that is so important, to have female coaches out there, for them to see and look up to, and, yeah, that's been a really cool thing, is seeing all the little girls who come and train and take our classes, and and kind of just have it be normal.
Be normal. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I can do this too.
Yeah, exactly.
I can do this. I can really do this. I can become this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I talked to Ronda Rousey's mom, and I was like, what made you, because she's right from back in the day.
Yeah.
I was like, what made you, think that you could do it? She's like, oh, I just happened to walk into, I think it was a YMCA as well. And there was a female judo, the instructor was female, or there was a female black belt there. And then it was the first day. And she's like, I think I can do this too.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So how powerful that is to have females on the mat.
Yes.
Being role models for
exactly,
the little girls. And
when you can see yourself in someone, it makes you feel like I can do this too.
Yeah, but I think, just having other females, if you're an adult coming in,
oh,
to see
definitely.
other females on the mat, okay, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And having friends like this Saturday morning with Monica when she teaches the all women's class,
yeah,
it's cool. It's really cool.
So many women show up, and it's really, really a special community, and Legacy, you guys really, make it okay for women.
Yeah,
and just normal, like we said, just normal to come in and be a part of the community. Yeah.
We have a lot of female coaches too, right? From kids and adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even in our Muay Thai program, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good representation.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah. You grew up in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Whereabouts in Chicago? I
grew up in Mount Prospect. It was a northwest suburb. And then I went to college in the South Loop.
That's downtown Chicago?
Yeah, downtown. And then back to Mount Prospect for a little bit before I came out here. Mount Prospect's like 30 minutes outside of the city.
And your parents still live there?
My dad is there.
Okay.
Yeah. My mom was there, and then she moved here. She passed away in 2020.
That's right.
Yeah. But they were there. Then my dad was back here, and then he was in Boston. So it's bounced around a little bit, but my dad is in Chicago again now.
Yeah, Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Great city.
I like Chicago.
Yeah.
I like Chicago. The Adam Redzovic.
Yes.
Have you met him?
No. My brother trained though at one of the sister gyms to the Redzovic, Top Level.
Okay.
And they, they're kind of affiliated with them. And
they were the first, one of the first jiu-jitsu guys there.
Yeah.
Yeah, family Redzovics. Now they're like whatever. During the pandemic, they kind of split up a little bit,
Yeah.
But Adam's still there, and his brother.
Yeah.
It's called Premium Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
What's it called? Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park. Yeah.
Lincoln Park, and then Adam's in the downtown, the Loop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, actually, I haven't trained at those gyms when I've gone back to Chicago, but I'll have to put that on my list.
Yeah, go see Adam in downtown.
Yeah.
It's a nice school.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice people.
That's great.
And Premium Jiu-Jitsu as well.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Nice.
Yeah.
So what's coming up? What do you got coming up? What's new?
Well, I do have a tournament coming up in a week and a half. Week and a half, yeah. Jiu-Jitsu World League. And
the Worlds.
The Worlds, yes, exactly. So we're doing that. We have summer camp coming up as well. Yep. Legacy Glendale.
The boss of the summer camp.
Yep. That is me.
Coach Jess.
And then maybe some traveling. I'm going to have a new niece, so...
I feel like you're the only one that hasn't gone to Japan.
I know.
Out of the people from
I've decided I don't want to go because everybody's gone. Yep, literally everybody's been in Japan. It's kind of wild.
My Instagram, it's like everybody's in Japan.
Yeah, every day you're like, oh, there's somebody else in Japan.
We're going to the family in June.
Oh, okay. You're like, we got to get on that train.
No, because the wrestling, right? They have like crazy wrestling, right? The females, the guys, and the group, but especially the girls.
Yeah.
Right? they're like elite, like the best in the world, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's
so
awesome.
I was trying to do some kind of mix in the training with the traveling.
Oh, that's going to be great.
And some years ago, I went there a bunch of times, and so I have like still a lot of friends and stuff there.
Yeah. Oh, that's
pretty
awesome.
high level in the martial arts thing, you know? Yeah.
Wow,
Big
that's
companies
great.
and have schools there. So
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing some of them, you know?
Definitely. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, I mean, maybe one day Japan.
Not this year.
Not this year. Maybe Europe this year, though. That's a potential for me.
Where in Europe?
Well, originally I kind of wanted to just go around and do a solo trip, you know, maybe Amsterdam, London, pop into a few places, but it's kind of shifted, and I might go with my brother to Norway. Which we're Norwegian, and so we've always wanted to go. And it was a trip that we had wanted to take with my mom, and so it's something that would be really special for us to go there.
Cool. That sounds
Her
really cool.
father was Norwegian, yeah. So that's a maybe now for the fall. So, and I haven't been to Europe or Asia, so that's a big one on my bucket list right now.
Nice. Make me want to go to Norway.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to before, but now I'm like, I've seen pictures and people going there.
Yep.
I went
Looks pretty beautiful.
to Sweden.
Okay,
you know?
yeah.
They used to be together, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
The fall.
Yeah. It'd be a really pretty time to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, Europe. I like Europe a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a nice switch up from here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've got to go explore over there in the next few years.
And you said Asia?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't been to?
No, I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on cruises that have been to a lot of different, islands and a little bit South America, been to Mexico and Canada and a couple other places, but never.
Your NAFTA.
Yes. Yep. But yeah, I haven't traveled internationally in that way. So.
Brazil?
No. I've been to Colombia.
Colombia, huh?
Yeah. Where else in South America? I can't remember now. But yeah, a cruise that went, across that way. So
you guys should go to Brazil together. UNM.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Should go to Brazil together.
That would be
go
great.
Compete and stuff there. That'd be fun.
That would be very
Kevin just
fun.
went?
Yes, that's right. I heard about that. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. They went the Europeans too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go to the Europeans.
Mm-hmm. We have talked about going and doing international tournaments, so maybe that'll be something for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, the kids they grow up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now you've seen my kids, my girls grow up a little bit,
Yep.
And you see at the YMCA and now on the jiu-jitsu mats.
Yes.
How does it feel to see the kids kind of grow up and get older?
Yeah. It's a pretty cool thing, to see. I mean, it makes you feel old too, but I'm like, well, number one, I feel old.
That's how I feel.
Yep. That's the first thing.
But then it flips, and then it's like rewarding, Like,
exactly. It's very, very
part.
rewarding. Yeah. It's, working with kids is so rewarding, and I've kind of
meaningful,
so meaningful. Yeah. I've kind of, at this point in life, found new meaning in working with kids again. I had coached gymnastics for so many years and stopped for a little bit, and now I'm doing that again, as well as coaching jiu-jitsu, and I just view it so much differently than I did when I was in my 20s. It's just, I can see such value in it.
Took it for granted, when you were younger,
It was just like, okay, this is something I'm pretty good at, and it's just a whatever job, but yeah, it's so rewarding. I mean, I felt the part of it that was rewarding back then too, but it just feels different now.
You didn't realize the deepness of the actual changes that you make in somebody's life.
Exactly.
A little person's
the impact.
life. The impact, yeah.
Yeah, that they're going to talk about me, forever, and they're going to remember, that was my gymnastics coach, that was my jiu-jitsu coach, and yeah, it does make quite an impact on the kids and the families, and so yeah, it's really nice. It feels really nice, and it's not just like, oh, I'm just going to work, and it's something that is definitely very meaningful.
Yeah. What are some things that people don't know about you,
Oh,
Coach Jess?
that's a good question. Well, that I apparently don't know how to use a microphone because I keep hitting it.
Here, head to the side.
Thank you. What are things people don't know about me? Unfortunately, I'm an open book. I think people know most things about me. I have 6 tattoos. So I guess maybe people don't know that. I'm a huge musical theater fan, which people do know that, but not everyone, I guess.
Musical fan? Mm-hmm. What kind of music?
Broadway.
Broadway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I got into musical theater in high school, and I'm one of my tattoos is a quote from a musical, actually. So
what quote is it?
No Day But Today. It was my mom and I had matching tattoos, actually, and that was our matching tattoo. So yeah. Yeah, huge musical theater fan. I honestly, if there was one thing I could be doing, it like my dream would be to be on Broadway. But I can't sing really. So, you know, I tried for a long time. I mean, I did theater, I danced. I was like, maybe just the 2 of these, you know, put together will be enough. But it's like, well, no, there's also people out there.
What shows do you like? Or have you like?
My favorite show is Rent.
Rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then I love sad musicals with a deep message, basically. So I love Next to Normal, Tick Tick Boom, Spring Awakening, The Last 5 Years. 6 is one of my favorites. It's about the 6 ex-wives of Henry VIII, and they basically put on a pop concert.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I love New York, and I've been there like 15, 16 times at this point. And so, yeah, go there and see shows. And
how long do you stay for when you go?
It depends. I'll just go usually for like a couple days, because it's the kind of trip you can do for a couple days. Mm-hmm. I spent 8 days there by myself one time, which felt like I lived there at that point. I also did.
Do you stay in the city?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I did a dance program at NYU one time, and I was there for 3 weeks. And then my mom and I used to go. It was our place that we would go together. Oh, cool. And we went to this Broadway convention, actually, like 4 years in a row. And so we would go and meet in New York and just do all Broadway all weekend. Yeah.
I like Broadway shows too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun. It's an experience, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. I just love sitting in the theater and the whole experience of it.
Yeah.
Just takes you away for a couple hours.
We went, was it last year or a couple years ago? And I took the family and the kids, and I made them go to we watched Wicked, you know.
Yeah.
Watched,
that's a great one.
Go to a show, you know.
Yeah, it's a fun experience. Yeah, and it's like, especially a show like Wicked, you know, it's like
just the production.
Yes,
and just all the moving pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it's pretty incredible. Wicked's such a spectacle too. It's like, how could you not enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one a couple times.
Yeah, and I like New York too.
Yeah.
Like, I got to meet up with one of my high school buddies.
That's nice.
Because I went to high school in New York, and it was really cool. He gave us a little tour of like the NYU area, and Greenwich Village, and just the whole thing.
Oh, I love those areas. Yeah, I love New York.
It was in the summertime too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The winters can get cold.
Brutal. Yeah.
Brutal. The wind.
Yes.
The windshield factor. Chicago probably even worse.
Oh
right?
my gosh, it's crazy. I mean, you literally feel like your face is gonna fall off. It's so cold.
It hurts.
It hurts. It literally hurts. Yeah. And yeah, the wind chill.
Goes out your bones, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Where it's like literally below 0, and it's crazy because you have to bundle up so much, you know, and you spend all this time bundling up, and then you go outside and it's freezing, but then you go inside and now you're in the heat, and now you can't wait to take everything off, and you have to add extra time, you know, to a Chicago winter when you're traveling around.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So you've been how many years now at Legacy?
Well,
because you worked at the cafe.
Yes.
First.
The cafe I started in 2018, and then in 2019 I started working in the office here at Burbank.
Forget about all these things.
I know.
I feel like I've known you forever.
Forever, yeah. It's kind of wild.
Because I've seen you almost like many years, like every day almost. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and I I first tried jiu-jitsu in 2018 when I first started at the cafe, actually. But it just didn't click for me that time. It was just, I mean, the hardest thing I'd ever done, and just very confusing. And, you know, I didn't have the community yet that I have now. And so that made all the difference when I started it again.
They say if you have one friend in college, quebrado, actually, they're a capoeira, a shirt, a sweatshirt on, whatever. Zip up.
Yeah.
And the Shigato, he goes and does a class at colleges, and they say you're like something like 95% or 90% like higher to not drop out if you have one friend.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah, that's so true. If you just have somebody on your side and with you. Yeah.
With you, yeah.
That makes sense.
And so when people come in the door, right, and even if it's not like a friend yet, you know, but if you're that person, like the FIS, the first impression person, takes care of that person, and they're like, okay, like I know Jessica, I know Jess, I know Kevin, whoever it is, you know.
Yes,
and
totally.
you care about them and you take care of them.
Yep,
Okay.
it makes all the difference. Yeah. That first impression, like you're saying, and that, you know, feeling comfortable and safe and welcome, and
and then with time you meet, you become friends with people the more you come, but you're that first person you meet, right? And people don't forget that either.
Yeah,
when
that
you
is
come
so
in and
true.
do the class, you know?
Yeah,
whoever took care of them,
exactly, you know? and started the experience for them. Yeah.
Why should somebody train at Legacy? What makes it special?
I mean, the community, really, you know, that the team, the community, you know, some of my closest friends now are from here. Some of my favorite people, and, you know, the experience of just everybody being together. Like, also the training is great, you know, the incredible professors and instructors. But really, I think it's the community is what makes a difference. You know, how everybody does feel welcome, and the way everyone is taken care of and made to feel special and feel a part of the team. And, you know, and there's also just so many opportunities, you know, there's coaching and a lot of stuff that you can get involved with. And, you know, you are always just so present and welcoming and open. And that makes such a huge difference. You know, it's like we get to see the person who created all this all the time. And, you know, and you really just truly welcome everybody in with open arms. And that is very special. You know, I don't think that's happening everywhere. I think that that's a rare thing. And a very special environment that you've created here. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah, of course. It's an honor.
Yeah.
I love it.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah. How can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at Big City Wine. WEIN.
Big City.
Yep. I am known around here as Big City. I just got a new mouth guard made that says Big City.
Big City. Boom.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.